Welcome to ATP Customs. Well, today is part one of Matt White's build on the father and son 88 T-top Mustang. I'm calling it the father and son because I got a story to tell you about this car, why this car means so much to us. This car belonged to Matt White's dad, Carmen Truman, C-A-R-M-A-N, Carman, Truman, T-R-U-M-A-N. He was a true man, and he was a car man. He was a very good friend of mine, and he was the most loyal, most reliable person I've ever had in my shop. He was the type of man who at night would come down every single night, even on weekends, and make sure that the shop was locked up, that nothing was left out. He was that kind of person. He did fabricating, he did woodworking, he did all the body work up to the primer stage, and then Mr. White would do the paint and the electrical, and they did all the motor work together. They did everything together. I could say, hey, you guys, I need the tranny and clutch done in that thing. And all of a sudden, it could be a Sunday, and these guys would show up and just get it done because they loved working on cars together. That's what they did. They went to car shows together. They built their Mustangs together. They got to meet Dave Kindig together. That was their thing. They would take their Mustangs to local car shows everywhere. And it was an amazing connection that they developed through cars and their love for cars. So Matt White went through a bit of a difficult time, well, a lot difficult time. His stepdad had passed away of cancer. And then 2 years later, his real dad was battling diabetes, was waiting on herniated disc surgery. He was having some heart issues and was diagnosed with cancer as well. He had colon cancer. Things were not good. So we did everything we could to make Carmen's life easier so that he could just putter in the shop. I worked a full-time job so that we could get us through the rough times to keep his dad happy and surviving, and it was working. He beat cancer. So our team was back. We were building cars like crazy, and Matt's dad used to go to his hockey games. Matt loves playing hockey, so Carmen would volunteer to keep score on the scoreboard for the team just so he could watch his son play every week. And one night while Mr. White was in the change room at the end of his game, Carmen was putting the nets away, and he slipped and fell on the ice, and he cracked his skull on the ice. And so he ended up in the hospital, and he never made it. Never made it out of the hospital. We lost him December 27th, 2 days after Christmas. That was Matt White's Christmas present, was losing his second dad. So, that makes this a very sentimental build. Matt White had to become part of my family after that, and now it is just Matt White and I in the shop. So we're going to do a full build in the name of Carmen, and we're also going to have our own golf tournament because Matt and I both love golf, and a bunch of our friends do. Chris, my son-in-law, who's a pro hockey player, he's a golf fanatic. So we're going to start our own tournament. It's just going to start small. And you have to bring a cool car or a cool truck to be part of the tournament. And we're going to call it the Carmen Truman Classic. So yes, we're talking about golf while we're talking about this car. So the plan for this 88 T-top Mustang that currently has a 306 and does not even have a cold air intake on it. There's another video on the channel. If you want to check out Mustangs, go into the playlist and go under Mustangs, and you'll see a full video of what this looked like before Matt robbed all the subs out of it. But we are going to do wide body flares on this thing like Carmen did on the gray convertible for Mr. Power's car. This thing's getting the wide body flares. He is going with all new wheels. It's getting full body and paint. It is getting a roll cage. It is getting a Kenny Bell or a Ken Bell supercharger. I am not sure if Mr. White is going to keep the 306 or is he going to use his built 331 that's in his other car. He seems to have plans of changing motors and stuff all the time. But either way, it needs some love, and it's worth it. It's an awesome car. It's a T-top car, and it's a sentimental car. We love this car. And no, it's not for sale. Matt White will never, ever, ever sell this car. If you want to buy a Mustang, you can buy his other one, but he will not sell this one. So there you go. That is the story on this particular Mustang. The next time I do a video on it will be when Matt White is actually tearing it apart and what his plan is. Don't forget to check out Matt White's channel. I'm sure he will be doing a much more detailed version of what he's going to do to this car. But we're off and running. They're in the shop finally. We got a lot to do. So thank you for watching. And I hope you subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification button